Are talking about today is the imposter syndrome. So it's not us talking. Blame it on that guy.
Imposter syndrome actually can be very easily linked to the roles we identify in the lives that we live.
And we want to pull away from that lie we've told ourselves, like I am not enough, or I am worthless, or I am gross, or whatever it is. And to be anything else apart from that would then feel like a lie.
And this is actually the path of many beautiful leaders out there who have left the mark on this world because they have decided to honor their authenticity beyond the roles and really let go of the attachment to their identity.
Hello guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for jumping on and watching us. Here we are talking through the conscious kingdom. It's not really us talking, but it's something else, I feel.
Exactly. This is like the time of channeling, and we are so grateful for the invitation of just holding the space of whatever wisdom chooses to channel itself through us today to serve you.
Which is quite ironic because our talk about today is the imposter syndrome. So it's not us talking. Blame it on that guy. So imposter syndrome goes hand in hand with the recent video we just did with self-doubt. Some of you may know this and some of you may not, and I will certainly share from my own experiences. There's been a few of them. Psychologists describe it as the experience of feeling like a fraud, despite having achieved success. Imposter syndrome is something that is especially felt among women and minority groups. With imposter syndrome, it can limit our courage to put ourselves out there in a meaningful way or go after new opportunities. It causes people to experience self-doubt about if they are qualified enough or doing well enough in a job, a relationship, a friendship, as a parent, or any other activity, even though they usually are. Self-doubt and imposter syndrome can have a significant negative effect on someone's self-esteem. However, there are ways to combat these feelings and become more confident in ourselves and our abilities. Imposter syndrome, from my experience, especially as an actor, I had to step in the shoes all the time into somebody else's shoes, and I really felt like a fraud. If I'd won a part, I felt like I won it because I somehow sold the idea that I could act it. And when I would show up as the actor portraying a character, I just felt like I'm going to be found out. And I know Johnny Depp had the same feeling, and that's Johnny Depp, right? It's weird because, of course, you are an imposter. You're pretending to be somebody. And I think a lot of us feel that in our own lives because we hold ourselves to a feeling or a knowing, and it comes down to the personal lie, actually. The personal lie is a lie that's so deep that it literally paints our childhood and our experiences forevermore. And we want to pull away from that lie we've told ourselves, like I am not enough, or I am worthless, or I am gross, or whatever it is. And to be anything else apart from that would then feel like a lie. But the lie is the very lie you told yourself, and you believe it to be true when you're a child. So to be anything else, to be a successful businessman, a successful parent, successful husband or wife, may go against that very core feeling of who you think you are from that lie. And anything else apart from that, we just feel like it's not true, even though all the evidence, and people could say it to your face that everything is fantastic and you're doing great and this and that. It doesn't matter because you haven't told yourself that. You don't believe that. So it doesn't matter what anyone else is saying on the outside. And it certainly shows up in a lot of people who are controlled by their materialistic possessions. They need that to somehow confirm to the outside world that they are true. I am that person, by creating an illusion because they don't believe it themselves, right?
Yes, imposter syndrome actually can be very easily linked to the roles we identify in the lives that we live. So whether it is a role of a mother or a role of a wife, role of a, I don't know, teacher, or whatever work you might take on, you're always taking on a role. You're always taking on an identity and an idea that you then are contracting yourself to live up to. So when you step into the shoes of that role, you know it's the an unspoken protocol to follow of how it is usually done. And no wonder we are then kind of met with this feeling of never good enough, because then this is a construct that comes from the outside of us. You know, you are not your roles. You are your own sovereign, authentic human being that is behind those roles, underneath those roles. So from my own experience, and thank you, Alex, for sharing yours, but from my experience, I mean, I've experienced that ever since I was little, and it comes with the territory, as I said, but it also comes with the territory of the gender, of class, that it is these kind of ideas that you feel you don't belong there, you don't deserve to have that, and to have to combat that and to have to stand up to the bullies that benefit from you staying paralyzed in the idea that you are an imposter is a very courageous act. And this is actually the path of many beautiful leaders out there who have left the mark on this world because they have decided to honor their authenticity beyond the roles and really let go of the attachment to their identity and proclaim who they are on the inside head on, without the attachments to perishable. And by perishable, I mean whether it is material attachments, whether it is, you know, your class, or what the outside world's definition of success, let's put it this way. We did another video on that recently. All of that is an attachment to an idea that is not you, and imposter syndrome will come as a norm to support that kind of experience.
You know, it's all depending on what is life about. Life, through my own view, is not about sticking to one thing and doing that until you die. That's just my own experience. I like to do multiple things, which means I'm having to be different roles throughout my life. And I've done many different things, and it's figuring out, you know, these experiences are allowing me to work out who I am, and I need to take the different roles. And thankfully, the only time I felt, I think, like an imposter was literally as an actor, in being imposed in different roles. But at times, you know, when you are having a vision that is bigger than you, it does call for you to have to step into the unknown. You know, if you want to become the next, you know, best-selling writer, and you're not, you then have to become the next best-selling writer and walk in those shoes and you know, commit to writing it and really, you know, putting your heart and soul into a book. In order to manifest that reality. And at that time you're not, and then when you create that book and it becomes a bestseller, then you are, you know, then do you feel that you deserved it? And if you stay committed to the outcome defining who you are, then I think you would always find yourself in this place of imposter syndrome-ness, because you're waiting for the outside world to confirm, okay, you are this and you are that. And it's really not worrying about the accolades or anything like this. It's just knowing in yourself that you are going through life with experiences. And I remember Wayne Dyer saying, you know, in a boat, when you're going forward, the white frothy part that is left behind is called the wake. And the wake doesn't drive the boat, you know. The white frothy stuff doesn't push the boat forward, and the white frothy stuff is your past. So you can reinvent yourself because the past is gone, okay? It will meld into the sea and the ocean, and the boat will keep moving forward. You, standing still, time It's happening around you, and you will always be moving forward. You can't go backwards. Only thing that stays there is the mind. And when you realize that and you can reinvent yourself, you don't have to hold on to the past pains and what happened. You can just decide to focus on what you want to focus on and become that person, become a better person, invest in yourself, and, you know, do the things that we've been suggesting and doing ourselves, because what we're saying to you is what we're doing, right? We walk the talk as much as we possibly can.
Beautiful. Well, imposter syndrome at its core actually makes you work harder. It makes you push harder. It makes you want to really impose an idea of you onto the other harder. But if you think about it, the imposter syndrome is something we all suffer from because it is the original birth trauma. In the original birth trauma, we arrive into this world and there is this feeling of separation. There is this idea of separation from going from the unity and the oneness that you have with your mother, where you and the universe were one, then you becoming separated. So the pain comes from the fact that you have to earn your right to be back in the union again. You earn your right to be accepted by the universe and by the mother, what it represents again. So it is really a race against yourself, that if you really understood the mechanics behind it as something that is serving you, and instead of condemning the feeling of not feeling enough and thanking it for having laid the groundwork for your own self-empowerment, then it becomes the next level of expansion.
Like you just said, I mean, it's a secret weapon for blooming. And when properly managed, it can help combat complacency and improve our preparation and performance. It drives us to question results, experiment with new strategies, and be open to alternate ways to solve problems, tactics that correlate with late bloomer strengths such as curiosity and resilience. However, self-doubt isn't only a performance enhancer, it's also a recipe for being a wiser leader, teacher, parent and friend, because coming to terms with it makes us more compassionate and gives us greater insight into ourselves and others. The problem is that many people deal with self-doubt by sabotaging our chances of success.
Wow.
Which is, I mean,
so beautiful.
It's so, anytime we feel that, you know it's a time for you to bloom, change your perception of it, change your meaning. If you're feeling that way, go, okay, here is that chance where I can be compassionate with myself and with other people who are struggling in the life cycle, their own life, wherever they are in their stage of being a new parent, or their parent, or their children have just left, or they just started a new business, or their businesses. Everybody is going through something, and when you emphasize with somebody or you're compassionate with them and you're not judging or blaming them, they feel understood and heard. And the more you practice that level of love to others, you are practicing that love towards yourself, and you're just a projection of that. And it's just catching yourself and becoming aware. So, it all starts with us. Once we do this, it doesn't matter whatever is happening out there, whatever political spectrum you're on, whatever views they have, you can take that breath and create that space and say, at the end of the day, what's more important? To be right, or to have a loving world that we live in ultimately together? And my old self would probably mock somebody like myself saying things like this, but it took a lot of work to get to that point in that place within myself to be able to say it on camera, to share it, because ultimately it's not about being right, it's about heaven on earth.
Yeah, well, it's something to be grateful for. It is time to be grateful for the times where we felt not enough and we felt that we needed to prove ourselves, because then we get to be that for ourselves, and then we can project the loving environment onto the other people, onto those that are near and dear to us. So I am grateful for all the times I felt that I don't belong, that I needed to earn my right to be there. I've turned myself inside out in so many situations and actually went way overboard so many times with trusting people and, really giving all of myself just because I felt I wasn't enough. And I have decided from now on onwards that the cycle is broken and enough is enough. And now it's time to restore balance into receiving back everything that's been invested out there, because this is life, and there is no such thing as vacuum. As you give that out and place it somewhere else, it only will want to find its way back to you, because this is just how life works. It's like the wave. It expands, contracts, but every single time it expands and contracts, the expansion goes further and further and further. And this is how our consciousness works. So the awareness of imposter syndrome is the step in your awareness and your self-awareness, which is the tool for expansion.
Beautiful. So thank you guys, and hopefully you'll expand, and there'll be a lot more of you watching and enjoying this, because the more of you out there who we know are listening, the more we feel that we are making a difference, and that's what it's about. So thank you for allowing us to make a difference in your life if we have.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for sharing this space with us, because no matter of the time and space or where we are in the country, in the world, we get to share this space together, and we connect in the hearts, and that's where we can make the difference. So we honor you and appreciate you for being here for yourself.
So please leave a comment. Let us know what you want to talk about. Let us know what you think, what's come up with you, because your comments and suggestions really drive this boat forward.
Thank you, guys. Much love.
Thank you.